Alright, hello everyone, welcome back. 100 Proof Whitetails, episode 66.
66. We
66.
did this 66 times?
66 times with the 100 Proof name. So, if you count all of them back, probably going to be over 100 at this
Contraband
point.
videos?
Contraband videos.
Those are some of the best ones.
Yep, some of the live Q&As I did before that. So, yeah, we've done well over 100 of these things. But,
I say we stop a rare gift here.
alright, I'm good on that. So, we were given a bottle to do on the podcast. This is a Widow Jane. They call it the Opal. There's only 10,000 of these frickin' bottles, so this is probably the most expensive whiskey I've ever drank. And Bucky's already loving life with it. So,
Very fancy.
Yeah, it's got like a little gym locker thing. Black Opal, 20 years of, or the Black Opal, 20 years of mixes of bourbons.
So can you give us a description of what an opal is?
An opal is a rare gem, I believe.
It is a rare gem.
Yeah, there we go. Pretty close. I don't know how you get it out of there. I just have always opened it. Oh, look at that. It comes right out.
You even get a card.
Oh! This is the thank you for spending your life savings.
Thank you for spending your life savings on our gym locker.
Oh no, look at.
Was it a picture of your barrel?
It's probably the picture from the batch. In celebration of the Black Opal, Little Jane Distillery. There's no way. It says 523 out of 1,000. So maybe there's only 1,000 bottles of this. Maybe it's even rarer than I thought it was. I don't know.
I don't know. It says 670 on the bottle.
Well, then this doesn't add up.
Then it says batch 3. 2024. I'll let you pop it. It was given to you.
Okay.
Not me.
This is going to be super like oaky, woody kind of flavor. Can't get this back on the wax paper. Just a picture of a barrel. And so just throw that out. So.
Yeah, thanks for all your money. Here's a Laffy Taffy wrapper. And
there you go. Widow Jane 20, Black Opal. Fancy schmancy.
And this is a thank you from our... Did you already say that?
Nope.
So this is a thank you from our good friends down at K&M.
For doing the shows there and the tastings and all that stuff. So
a little shout out to them.
Yep, absolutely. So quiet on the set with the Laffy Taffy paper.
Good pop. That was a pretty solid pop.
Pretty wet.
Very sharp.
I think this is going to taste like wood and dirt. So probably the most expensive. I think it's the most expensive bourbon that I've ever had. MSRP. It's only 90. Was it 90 some proof? 99 proof.
It says 49.
No, it's ABV. You multiply that by 2.
Oh, 99 proof. 99 proof. You know it's good because it's got the dimples in the bottle.
Yep. It's a fancy bottle. But yeah, so today is also Solstice Day, so happy Solstice to everybody out there.
Solstice.
Which is the longest day of the year for the summer solstice.
Does that mean it's summer now? Summer solstice?
It would be... Well, no. First day of summer already happened. It's just the longest day of the year is the summer solstice. After this, it all starts getting short again.
First day of summer.
It's not the first day of summer. That's like back in May.
You sure? I feel like June, first day of
Google says first day of summer. That's right. June solstice is the first day of summer.
God, that hurt to say, didn't it, man? That's why it's called the solstice.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, getting us to episode 66.
Thank you, K&M.
This is going to be woody and tobacco-y.
That's what I like. That's a man's drink right there.
Yeah, that's like wood. If you don't like wood and tobacco, I mean, look at the color on that, dude. 20 years. Thing can almost legally drink on its own. In certain states, it probably can.
That one's a sipper.
Yep. Nice.
That might have to.
I don't know.
That might have to be the replacement kill bottle when the other one's gone. Seeing we're killing $4 a year.
Yeah. Yep. Hashtag keep it $2 a year.
So hide that one, the new kill bottle.
Yep. So anyway, we got quite a bit to talk about tonight.
Lot to talk about.
We got Jake's Day. We'll do some highlights on what's going to be going on at that. That's tomorrow.
So is an excavator actually going to be there?
Yeah.
All right, good. It's the only reason no one wants to go.
I'm sure. It's a tractor. It's a big tractor with a big arm.
I think my buddy Will's bringing his kids.
Yeah, so
He's like, it depends on how late I stay up tonight.
we'll just go right into Jake's Day then. So Jake's Day is tomorrow 9 to 1. It's a 100% free event, so you don't have to pay for drinks, food, anything like that for the day for the kids.
But you have to bring your own.
Mm-mm. No, food and drink are there, dude.
I know.
This is a youth day, so it's, not like
You have
a
to bring-
BYOB party.
You have to bring your own beer. Jake's Day.
No.
They got that
It's
too?
a kid's day.
They got that too?
We can't be giving the kids beer, man.
It's a bar.
Yeah, we're out behind the bar at the Sportsman's Club.
Oh.
So it's at North Seneca Sportsman's Club, just past the thruway exit there. Just past Sugar Creek.
The name has changed. It used to be Sugar Creek with the
Everybody calls it Sugar
no-tell
Creek.
motel next to it.
Oh, the old Red Roof or whatever it was?
Right off exit 42.
Yep.
Now, it is called Sketch Mart.
Isn't it a 7-Eleven or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is sketchy as hell. You go in there past 8 o'clock at night, it is sketchy as hell.
It's a thruway stop, dude.
I had two guys not let me in my truck when we went there.
Anyway, so Jake's Day is there tomorrow, 9 to 1. It's a free event. They're going to have stations like Nate said, Mini Excavator is going to be there. I can't remember the guy's excavating company.
Archery.
There's archery. Mike Price is going to be there, and Tim Rose are going to be running the archery station. Me and my dad are going to be running like a area for like wildlife interaction. We got furs. The weather holds. We should be bringing Jeff, the full body deer for the kids. That's always a hit. I'll probably bring like Dono, with his canines and stuff like that. So it'd be cool hands-on stuff for the kids. Cartel Custom Calls stepped up, and every kid that comes to Jake's Day is going to walk home with a free mouth call.
17 and under?
17 and under for the event.
Get a mouth call.
Yep. Any kids that come to the event, 17 and under, free call from Cartel Calls. And, yeah. The only thing it was at cost, and I covered the cost of materials for the calls or whatever. But they didn't charge us any labor or anything like that, just cost of material. So,
Now, will that be getting handed out at the fur tent?
no, they're going to give those out at the end when they give the kids, like, all the door prizes and stuff. That way we aren't picking up, like, 100 mouth calls at the end of the day.
So they want kids to stay there the whole time?
Yeah, well, that's when they do lunch and stuff is at the end and whatnot. So you can come in the beginning, the end. You can have them there the whole day.
Probably 10, 11.
Yeah.
We'll be there. Seeing you didn't have anything for me to do.
No, I think we're in pretty good shape. There's a couple casting stations for the kids. There's
Ben didn't want me there.
I didn't say that. I knew you have a full weekend on your plate with having Owen. So
Owen could have been there.
yeah, well. There's a skeet range, rifle range. There's BB guns as well. A couple casting
So
stations.
kids can shoot guns?
Yep. 12 and older. For the firearm part of it.
One's 12.
Yep. Probably forgetting a couple other things. There's arts and crafts. I think there's birdhouses that can be built by the kids. There's like rock painting and stuff like that too. So a whole bunch of stuff. So whatever your kids are
Rock
into.
painting. Owen likes rock painting.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff there for the kids. So it'd be a good time. Again, 9 to 1, North Seneca Sportsman's Club, just off exit 42. Got the right
Check
one?
us out.
Come hang out. We'll be there. I actually met one of our podcast viewers there last year. Met neighbors there that I didn't know I had last year. You know, it was a good time, dude.
So speaking of podcast viewers, we'll roll into
Aerofest,
the NDA shoot.
Yep.
Honestly, it was a cool event. It was really laid back. And if you're a country dude and you love the outdoors,
yeah, a little bit of banquet feel and archery.
I mean, like, this thing was ran by rednecks. It was great.
I told you it was a good time, dude.
I thought I had a good time.
Well, it also helps you want a gun.
Well, yeah.
Again, how many guns did that make it for you guys this year? 3?
Well, the past 2 years, me and Eliza combined have won 1, 2, 3.
It's all the horseshoes you got up your ass.
4, 5. We've won like 5 guns.
Yeah.
In the past decade, I've won like 6 guns and a bow.
You've done pretty well.
Not bad. But anyways, I thought it was a blast. I mean, it made it a little challenging because of all the flooding they got.
Yep. They had to redo the archery course a little bit that morning.
But they seem to have it pretty well under control.
Yep. Sean and all them guys.
I thought the woods course was very realistic.
Yeah, a lot of nice brush in the way.
Like, you had to kind of poke your shots, you know, shooting between V's in a tree, and you have some brush hanging in front of you. You kind of got to work around. The yardages were reasonable. I think the farthest shot was 35 yards.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. 35. They were like 20 to 35.
It was definitely set up for your average hunter.
Which, like you said, in the trees too, not like in the wide open field or shooting lanes. Like there was somewhat of a lane, but you know,
the field shoot was cool. Maybe Ben can show you some of the our possum pictures.
Yep. I can
Maybe
do that.
he can pull them up.
I can do that.
The only thing, I guess, me personally, if I had a complaint about it, was the hunters were classified with the open rig guys.
Yeah.
Besides that,
so that's my only.
I mean, that's
and we were talking about it, dude. Like,
that's like
they don't shoot from a different stake there, you know.
Yeah, which whatever, but I mean that's like, you know,
100 yards of the slug gun. One guy's got irons, and the other guy's got a 3x9 on it.
Yeah.
You know,
it's.
Can they both shoot it and do it? Sure. You know, but there's a reason why there's different stakes and different classes for stuff. But you know, but again, we could have done just as good and should have just shot better. But we finally got into it decent. What was it? Like target 3. Our first 3 targets were a little off, and then after that, dude, I don't think we dropped 8s. We were pretty solid the rest of the way through. With no bonus rings too, so.
I felt like I shot solid all day besides that one. Whatever happened there, I don't know.
Yeah, the one that went low.
The one that went low just under the target. I have no idea.
Yep.
I don't know if I just wasn't seeing the target right or what, but no, I thought it was a great time. Food was good. Raffles were good. They had a lot of good stuff they were raffling off. They raffled off a Blackstone grill.
Big sausage making, meat curing
like
kit.
$2,500 worth of sausage making, smoking equipment.
Yep.
Just tons of stuff, Tons of guns. They had a lot of guns there.
Yep. Yeah, probably did what? Probably 10 guns anyway.
Yeah. Everyone thought it was going to be 12, but
Yep. Like, oh, they got 2 more guns to give away for that game. And then it's like, nope. We're only giving away 1 for the Plinko game.
yeah. So here's
Plinko.
here's my favorite target of the whole thing.
I think it was pretty cool, dude.
I thought the hanging possum was cool.
Yeah.
There it is.
And it would have been an 11 ring.
It is.
It was, but it only scored as a 10.
Yeah. See, they need to do bonus points. That would.
Yep. But, no, it's pretty good, dude. Got it right there.
Kabum.
Got her.
Hanging possum. That was a cool target. I like that one. A little low.
Got a little 8 great shot right there by Nader. But yeah,
Boom.
we didn't get too many views. We're too busy having a good time with it. So we shot with, I can't remember the guys' names now, but 2 good guys, down to earth guys.
Mm-hmm.
The one guy we shot with, I guess he shot just out of the top 3.
The older guy.
Yep. I think he was like 4th or 5th. He shot
I think
good.
he only dropped like 1.8.
Yep.
Not sure why we froze.
No, we're good. We're good.
I think it still hear us.
Probably.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Holy moly.
Too much stuff going on.
And then, so yeah. I did win a gun. I won Marlin 30-30. Beautiful stainless barrel. Black laminate stock.
Mm-hmm. Got the big
Got the big loop.
The big loop on it. The extended loop. So yeah, that was a great looking gun. Had to drive down to Andover to get it.
Go get it.
Gaylord's Guns.
Gaylord's Guns. Cool little shop. Go check them out.
Yep. We got a lot of inventory of guns and ammo.
Yeah, I thought their prices were pretty reasonable too.
Prices were pretty fair on stuff. I went home with an Amish belt.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like little acorns pressed into it. It's pretty cool. So, you know,
Then traded a couple.
had to do something. Had to do something to pass the time while we waited for your background check and everything.
I got a little bit of a record. You gotta understand, it takes a little while.
Yeah. No, it's just good old New York State and everything else. But yeah. So that'll be good. NDA event was great. That was their 5th annual. So I'm sure they'll do more of them.
Well, we'll see.
But
so that rolls us into a big topic. The NDA supporting.
Oh, we're gonna open up this can of worms with it. All right. So if you've been under a rock,
it's just your mom watching anyway.
Yeah, I know. If you guys have been under a rock, you might not have heard, but they're pushing through this crossbow bill, and not saying that we're for or against the crossbow bill side of it, but I made a post about how the organization as a whole, as a conservation organization, made a blanket statement for direct support of this bill 100%, saying it was a common sense bill with our outdated laws, and I forget what other wording they used with it. A very steering verbiage with how the post was presented out to members. And then a link where you could directly drop your support letter that they had already pre-drafted for you. However, with all this auto-send links, you can delete the message and put in your own opposition message if you choose to. However, they didn't give you that option of support or, I guess, I don't know what you want to say. Support or non-support of the thing for your lawmaker. And that was my big takeaway. As a conservation organization, you shouldn't be promoting a single side of an argument unless it's sound biologically making sense for whatever reason. You shouldn't be blanket statementing a piece of legislation without having good hard facts to back it up. Just saying that the laws are outdated and this is a common sense change, that it's not scientific in any way, shape, or form.
And it's really looking like it's going to get passed.
Oh, it's going. It's as long as Hochul signs it.
That's where
it'll
it's at.
happen.
It's
It's at the governor's desk.
It's at the boss's desk.
Yep.
And no doubt in my mind, she'll sign it.
Yep. So yeah, I think she will, especially with the dollars. My only thing is now is I think if you're gonna hunt with the crossbow, you should have to take the archery course. I think that should be a requirement. If it's viewed as an archery object for all of archery season, you shouldn't be able to go afield. I didn't think you should have in the first place. I think you still should have had to have your archery stamp to get your crossbow. I don't think it should have been considered a muzzleloader, and you didn't need an archery course to get that. Um, but you know, and I think that it's a better served course in person, too. You know, but maybe that's just me being a little bit of old school, and all these people are doing all these courses online and stuff now rather than just going and doing an in-person course with it. But anyway, and I'd be curious as to the reasoning and like the justification with the crossbow. Like if it's a thing where, you know, if they're saying we need to kill more deer, I don't think they're getting a good enough sample size with a 6% estimation on the population of harvest toward the numbers they're getting. With us killing almost 200,000 deer, you're off by a percent. You're off by a couple thousand deer very easily. So I don't think that's a very valid estimate for population harvest. And I've thought of something, and we've talked about it on the show before.
I'd say double it.
You got to at least get it to maybe a 10%, so you can run a 10 factor on it or something, to be able to figure out. But there's no way you can say that we estimate this is 6% of the harvest.
So the DC takes the number reported, doubles it, and that's their estimate.
What's that?
Deer harvest.
They estimate with
the number of reported.
Yeah, the number based on is
times it by 2, and that's what they're estimating the total deer harvest to be.
No, they're using the harvest data that's given from the licensed reporting and then from their check stations. And with that, they get a factor number of 6, which they put in a formula that spits out the harvest number for the entire state. So, but yeah. And they estimate that it's not even 50% of the tags are getting reported.
No. There's no way.
It's less than 50% is what they're estimating is getting reported, which I'm not.
Less than 50% of the deer are even getting tagged.
Yeah. So I think that's a big thing with it, dude, is, there needs to be a better way to do it, whether it's like, I think it may be Missouri. I could be getting the state wrong, but you have to report your harvest before you even touch the animal legally. So if you're caught with that animal and you haven't reported it yet, you're in violation kind of deal. So,
well, I guess we're getting a little off topic here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's what I said. We're diving down the rabbit hole with it.
The crossbow thing.
Yep. So, I don't know.
I think their majority of people were already hunting with them all season.
Yeah, I think it definitely.
I think, in my opinion,
mm-hmm.
People that use crossbows, I think were already hunting with them no matter what.
Yep.
Maybe they were a little more, I guess, apprehensive to pull the trigger with the crossbow before it was actually crossbow season, if it wasn't the deer. You know what I mean?
Sure. It's all possible, dude. I mean, we talked about that. There's always going to be people that push the boundaries and limits with this stuff.
And it's so hard. I mean, you can't really, force everybody or make everybody follow the rules by any means. So I think a part of it is, I think it was already happening that the crossbows were being used.
Yeah.
October 1st on through.
It's possible.
I think it will. It will definitely increase the pressure in archery season.
I think it's going to, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be the extent of gun season pressure, but I think it's definitely going to put pressure on
I'd be curious.
the deer in
I'd
the
be
area.
curious to talk to like Mike at Heritage and just see if since this is getting pushed through, if they've been getting, it might be a question for Mike if they've been getting an increase in crossbow orders.
I doubt it.
I bet they have.
I doubt it. Anybody who wants a crossbow already bought one and has been hunting with it since October 1st.
Possible.
That's my take.
Possible. Yeah, like you said, anybody that's going to be buying it now is somebody that is a to the letter kind of person with it too.
Yeah, anybody who goes out and buys a crossbow now is definitely not.
Hasn't been hunting all archery season with one.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And people aren't dumb. So, everyone's like, "Oh, opener crossbow started. All the big bucks got shot. All the target bucks." Motherfucker. That buck got shot 2 weeks ago with that crossbow, and that picture just got posted because the guy's not an idiot.
That's possible, dude.
Come on. Come on.
That's totally possible. Totally possible. The trees are still green.
Come on.
Yeah. No,
And I'm sure there's a few that get lucky opening day crossbow. Don't get me wrong. It happens with the opening.
Well, and it's right in the prime time.
Look at Jesse last year. He shot that beautiful 8-point opening day of archery with his recurve. Opening day archery, opening evening. Boom. Beautiful 8-point. Thing was what? 110, 120 inches, something like that.
110, yep, something like that.
Beautiful 8-point. He got his buck.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the biggest ones he had on camera. Did it opening day.
Mm-hmm.
Opening day of gun season. There's the people that get lucky at opening day of gun season. Shoot the big one.
Yep. Had a couple comments rolling. I don't know why they didn't. My phone was buzzing, but they didn't come in through the streaming software that came in on Facebook. Tom says we should get a bus together of a bunch of sportsmen and head to Albany to protest. I work, so unfortunately I can't go protest in Albany. So that's
protest crossbows.
I think that's what he's saying. At this point,
I'm a protester.
Yeah, I think it's I think it does give more opportunities to new hunters. And we talked about this, dude, like off camera and stuff on the ride down to Wellsville because that was just coming through when we were going down there. We were talking about how part of the reason why I think we got hooked so deep is because it wasn't go out there, point and shoot back then. You know what I mean? Like we struggled, like, or it was like the first, buck to his ears that gives you a shot, that was the one you shot, or the first buck period that gave you a shot was the one you shot. And it took a while to get to, one to get in front of you or get the right angle, or maybe you nicked a few and then get a few, or, there was trials in that, dude. And I think that's what kind of hooks more sportsmen for long term. We were talking like youth that I've taken out, dude. I've talked to their grandfathers or their parents about it, and they don't hunt at all. Like it was almost like it was too easy for them. Like it was just like, oh, yeah, went out turkey hunting and shot a turkey. It's like, dude, you shot like a 27-pound tom with an 11-inch beard, 1 3/4 spurs. Like this is a once in a lifetime bird, and the kid couldn't even get the kid to smile, man, kind of deal. And the kid doesn't hunt anymore. And it's like, well, what are we doing? So I think we have better retention when we get people that are of an adult age, let's just say 20 and older, that have income that they can go recreate and do hunting and stuff like that. So I think it gives opportunity for that, sure. But I think there's pluses and minuses to it across the board as a whole.
I mean that.
But I don't think we need to be up in arms protesting or fighting each other on it, so to speak. My big thing was the way that the NDA came out and with a blanket support of it with no legitimate reasoning other than it's common sense and a no-nonsense. Like, what the heck? Get out of here, dude. Like, that's not your place.
I mean, it just kind of falls in par with, just how the youth are.
Everything wants to be now, easy. I like everything to be easy too, dude, but that's kind of not how life is.
But there's always a few that want to go through the grind. There always will be. They go through the grind and learn all of it. But,
Man, that is a woody bugger, dude.
yeah, it is. It is tasty though. I do like
It's
it.
got a lot of flavor. It
It's
really
good.
does.
That's good.
Tom had another comment. It says if it gets passed, Heritage is going to sell more crossbows than they will regular compounds. Maybe. I still think they're going to move some compounds through there. I mean, they're, I think, the biggest toy dealer in New York right now. So I'm sure. I think it'll increase crossbows for sure. But and we bashed on me in the show before. I've killed a deer with a crossbow. Um, Late primitive season or whatever. I took a doe. I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, 10 years ago. I can't even remember how long ago it was. That's the only deer I shot with a crossbow. Not the only time I've carried one afield, but during the regular archery season, I don't think I've ever done it. Even the year I tore my bicep, I turned my bow down and was doing workouts so I could get back on my compound because I didn't want to shoot the crossbow, you know. So,
Yeah.
again, I think it's a personal preference thing. But biggest thing, dude, is you still treat it like archery equipment. Like it's a 20, 30-yard shot implement. I don't care what it says. If the advertisement says meet your next deer rifle or whatever the heck that tagline was from that magazine, and stuff like that, dude, it's not. You still have to take the responsible shot distances, angles come into consideration so much more than a point and shoot with a rifle, um, or a shotgun. You got to take everything into consideration with that. The brush and the thickness. You can't go winging into thick stuff, dude, with a bow. Don't work, man. Believe me. We saw that with I think that one that you shot underneath that target, dude. That deer was like what, or coyote. Coyote was like 27 yards, and pretty sure you hit a stick going through there, and it just kicked it under it.
That could be what happened.
That's what it sounded like.
I don't know. I really don't know what happened to that shot.
Yeah, but it doesn't take much. If you've shot enough bow in the woods, dude, you've had one hit a branch and go gone somewhere, or up in a tree, or sticking to something.
I center punched a sapling before.
I've done that before too.
That sucks.
Yep, you're focusing on that spot on that freaking deer, and you shoot it, and it freaking drills it, and you just see the air go. It's like sounds like a baseball bat hitting a freaking tree, and then it just. Yep. Tom had another comment. Said deer search will be busy this year. The amount of sportsmen going out now because they feel crossbow is easy and get a lot of misguidance and no experience in the field will cause a frenzy. That's
well. I mean, I'll second part of that. I think shed season. I think the deadhead count's going to go way up.
Yeah, I think, and that's why, and that's my other problem with this too.
People getting cocky.
Is I don't think that.
But it's still doing what New York wants.
Yeah, I think they want to drop the population.
That's all they're trying to do.
The only thing is my question with that, like I was saying, is I have a hard time saying that these numbers are fact. Like the numbers go up and down, up and down, up and down every year according to their projection with it or whatever. But like, how accurate is that? It's. I think there could be a much better system, whether it's an app, it's even a text, dude. You can text in your harvest or whatever, dude. Like, instead of spending, all this money on doing different things and different waste of money projects, like, I'm going to throw this out there just because I saw it on the news the other day. It pissed me right the hell off. We're giving $50 million to immigrants downstate for legal representation during this whole thing. We budgeted another $50 million. We can't figure out our state budget to save our life, but magically we can come up with $50 million for legal fees for folks. And it's like, and you just could have took $100,000 of that, paid a couple interns out of college to do data crunching for you, and that's their job. That's 3 people's job. They sit at home, they can work remote from home, and all they do is punch data in on the computer for the deer harvest. Boom.
Problem is, they don't care about the deer.
I know. They say they do.
It's not.
They say they do, Nate, and I keep wanting to believe them.
It's not a resource to them.
Yep. My other, I guess while we're on our soapbox with it or whatever, like I said, my other big thing, and we've always been adamants of it. We've crunched with the DEC numbers, kind of showed the representation of that. Everybody says we need to be $1. We need to be $1. That's our problem. When we broke down the numbers, like it was what was it, 1/100th of a % of hunters, so 1 in 10,000 or something, or I forget what it was, 6,000, maybe it was 1 in 6,000.
Mm-hmm.
1 in 6,000 kills $2 in New York State. It was like that might have been what it was. It was like 1 in 10 kill a buck, and then 1 in 6,000 kills both bucks. You know, and we didn't even like look to year in and year out because we can't dig that deep into data. We don't have the numbers for it. We should have had that pulled up because that would have been good numbers to put out there. But it was an extremely high number, dude. Or I guess low number, very high ratio of it was like or the unsuccess rate one, and then also the people that kill too. And I think a lot of it's just this social media age we were in. Unless you saw it at the processor, dude, 10 years ago even saw it at the processor, or saw it hanging in the guy's front yard or in the back of his truck at the gas station, you didn't know what people were killing. Now it's you pick your phone up. They got New York Antler Outdoors. They got the New York Hunter Club pages and all this other stuff that you see it front and center. You think everybody's killing every deer out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I still think some of that success is kind of skewed because of
It's definitely skewed.
the information put in your face. Because people aren't going to be out there being like, look, tag soup.
Some people do.
Oh yeah, I do. I did that the one year. I put it on a sandwich. And said it doesn't taste the same. Antlers taste better.
Some of my favorites.
Even though I killed like 4 does that year, I didn't kill a buck. I was actually having that conversation with a farmer today, where he was talking about seeing more deer than he's ever seen this past year, this spring, and he was wondering why. And I'm like, I said, to be honest with you, I said, as our state as a whole, we don't even kill 1 doe for 1 buck. With the population harvest estimates, we're not even killing 1 buck to 1 doe. We're killing like 0.8 something does per buck. It's not even a 1-to-1. You get to Pennsylvania, they're killing like 1.7 does per buck. So if you want to control the population, you don't kill the males out of a population. You target females that add to the population. It's simple biology, dude. Like it's not.
No, it was just funny.
Yeah. You don't want to kill the males, just kill the females.
Just kill the female. Is
that
like a communist thing?
No. I mean, like, one dude can sire many fawns. But, only 1 doe can sire 1 fawn. I don't know where I'm going with this.
She's not a sire.
Yeah, that's right. Not a sire. It's a dam. Or, wait, that's cows. Shit.
I don't think you want to say what it is.
Yeah. Well, that's a dog. Is that where you're going with that one?
Yeah.
But no, it's if you want to control a population, you take it to the individuals in that population that are increasing it, and it's not the bucks. And they've showed that in suburban and urban areas where they're castrating bucks.
It's more,
and they're still adding deer to the population. 1 buck is going to come in there, one little spike buck that didn't get his nuts chopped the year before. He's going to go in there and be like, hey, and he's still going to get those does knocked up. Mm-hmm. Don't matter if the other buck's shooting blanks or not. Nature, if we didn't learn anything from Jurassic...
We're neutering bucks now.
Yeah, you didn't know that? They're neutering bucks downstate. Instead of spending money on like getting sound numbers for our harvest data, we're castrating bucks.
For what?
So they don't reproduce. And it's more cost effective to do bucks than does. But it doesn't matter because it's not decreasing the population in any way, shape, or form. You didn't know that they were snipping bucks downstate?
No.
They're tranking them and snipping them?
I want that job. Minus the snipping part. I'd like to trank them and look at them and let them wake up and run away.
Be like, hey.
Yeah.
Hey. Don't
Hey.
run into that Suburban over there.
Nice rack. Get moving.
Yep. Don't run into that Suburban, would you?
I just want a picture of you.
I just want to take some photos.
I want to take some pictures of you.
What else was on the docket today? It was,
So my last take on that.
go for it. Oh, that's where we're going.
Where are we going? What are you talking about?
Go ahead. I know where we're going next.
So you're saying people are shooting more bucks than does in New York.
According to the numbers, yep.
I agree with that.
I 100% do too.
I 100% agree with that. But I think people are killing way more bucks than
I think,
what.
yeah, I think we're killing more deer.
I think,
Yeah.
because here's an example, and this is one of my favorite things. Last evening of archery season, all the fucking posts come out of the biggest buck that everybody shot.
I would say last week, but sure, yeah.
The biggest buck that everybody shot because they can't hunt anymore that year for whatever reason. They ain't posting just because they shot a buck. They've probably shot 3, 4. But they're going out there and they're like, well, this is the biggest one, so this is what I'm going to post and let everyone know that I shot that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then they don't post it until they can't hunt anymore. Just because they know at that point not a bigger one's going to walk by.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, I definitely could see that. They're holding out, waiting for another one, and didn't post the one, and yeah.
They didn't post it. They didn't tag it. They didn't do nothing. Until the end of the last week or the last time they can hunt, then they're like, all right. My tag went on that one.
Got him October 22nd.
There you go. That's what they're doing.
Yep.
That's what everyone's doing.
Yep. Got him October 22nd, but I'm posting him November 10th.
It's none of this, they shot a buck and they're out of the woods.
Yep. No, and, it's strange. Actually, this year, we're on a kickback year, which means that the third Saturday is actually November 15th. And it was a year like this is when I killed Outlaw and George within like 5 days of each other. Because I legitimately killed him the last week of bow season. And then turned around opening afternoon and killed George, the big 6, with the rifle. But, anyway. But, yeah, I don't know why it's not pulling them in off my Facebook, but...
Come on, StreamYard. Paid how much money for you?
Yeah.
Off Eliza's Foot Finder money?
Yeah, you got it.
She's working hard.
Painting her toenails and everything for it.
She even stuffed in an apple pie the other day.
That's what it was?
Yeah.
I thought it was your thigh.
That was my thigh? I hope that wasn't my thigh.
I'm just busting. Oh, we're just making good jokes. So the next place we're going to go with it, we're just on a government talk tonight, I guess. There's... So
that was my last take that I had to throw in there for the deer numbers thing.
Yeah.
And how it's completely frigged.
Yeah, it's... They got to figure out a better way to do it, dude. There's got to be a better way to get the data collection. But turning...
Robot deer.
Robo deer.
It's like laser tag with deer. There's going to be no actual deer anymore. There's going to be robot deer. Then when you shoot one with your laser, it'll automatically go back and record in the system that you shot that with your laser.
Yep. And then if you shoot a second one with your laser,
that's the only way it'd be.
And then if you shoot a
like,
second one with your laser, you get a 10-minute timeout.
Yeah. Like hockey, you get the two minutes
penalty
in
box.
the box. 2 minutes in the box.
Go to the box.
You got to go to your living room for 10 minutes.
Yeah. So also going around on social media is the information and posts about the proposal of selling off some of our public lands. Now, I think this is a huge threat against sportsmen all around, even if you don't hunt public or it's not your primary area that you hunt. Me and Nate, we were out trying to strike birds on public because we couldn't find any on our private pieces for this turkey season. We gave it the old college try. But these places are great areas to recreate on, not just for the value for the hunting, but for like the bird watching, the hiking. It's access into these areas to give people that escape, from the day to day life and stuff like that, where you might not have that opportunity. And
China.
yeah, that's what I made the joke for with Hannah, and she told me I couldn't make that joke, so I'm glad you made it.
I made the joke.
Yep. So
We're selling it to China.
it's all going to China.
It's a joke.
It's a
No
joke.
one start Googling this. It just made up.
Yep. So write your local senators and lawmakers
We're gonna get canceled.
with your strict. I am 100% against this. I don't see any benefit other than the initial nominal dollar amount per acre that you're gonna get for some of these public land tracts. That's my take on it. I think that it's a flash in the pan, quick.
That 500-degree pan, you just throw the steak in.
It's $1,000 an acre or whatever. It's going to be a big blanket, and
Who
again,
are they selling to though? Highest bidder?
they're looking to make the proposal to do it. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they've announced necessarily how much
I don't think it's gonna pay.
or how it's going to do it.
Why would they want to sell public land?
It's money, and a lot of people feel like it's just sitting there. It's wasted acres and stuff like that.
Isn't it part of what tax dollars goes to?
Pittman Robertson is the tax of sporting goods and fishing items and stuff like that. Pays for conservation, whether that's the improvement of public lands, the acquisition of public lands and stuff. That's why it's also good with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. Specifically as a conservation organization, they're out buying pieces of private land and then putting it into conservation programs to keep those properties forever wild with like public access and wildlife benefit areas. So definitely, I would say write your lawmakers if you do support this for whatever reason. It is also your right to in America to be in favor of something, but I would question as to why, other than the reason has got to be purely economic, or it's money related. Like that's the only benefit.
Can afford it.
Yeah, and it's gonna go to like big ranches or big conglomerates or something like that, and it's not. I don't see the benefit of it. You know what I mean?
So there's those other podcasters out there, the hunter guys.
Okay, sure.
And I like some of their stuff, and some of their stuff I'm like, I don't really agree with. But they did bring up how hunting is becoming a rich man's sport.
In a lot of ways, sure.
And I kind of got to agree with them there
Mm-hmm.
in what they're saying. Like, it just seems to be trending that way. Like,
Yeah.
certain states, I think they said, what was it, Missouri?
Could have been.
Missouri, how it's just any weapon you want to use whenever throughout the whole deer
Oh,
season.
that's how the South is. You get down to like Georgia, Mississippi, any of them.
Yeah,
It opens in August to
bow season.
January.
Yeah, there is no bow. You want to hunt your bow? Great. You want to hunt your gun? Great. Like it doesn't.
You want to
matter.
hunt with hounds? Great.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Sure.
I was listening to that take that those guys had, and
Jesus, Dan Festa comments. Dan, I'm not gonna post that.
Attaboy, Dan.
Dan, thanks for the comment. Thanks for tuning in, Dan. Love it. If anybody wants to read the comment, it's in the feed from one of the pages. It's a little chuckler, but I can't say that. We don't want to get canceled right away. But yeah, so with this proposal to sell, potentially millions of acres, dude, it's not.
And right there is another, I guess,
supporting statement
evidence
to it.
supporting that they, making hunting another rich man's sport. Because the guy, if you just legalize all the guns, and this is one of their takes, I'm not trying to steal it from them, but if you allow whatever weapon you want to use from October 1st all the way through to the 1st of the next year, these guys that actually want to bow hunt and have the money to, they're just going to buy up all this land and have their own little bow hunting sanctuary where they can go do what they want to do.
Sure.
And honestly, I see it happening.
That's a fair point.
I see that happening, in a small percentage in my hometown.
I see it with leasing.
Mm-hmm.
I see it especially with leasing.
All these farms that, people get permission at. I'm one of them that has permission to hunt them. I do work out little things with an air, but if it comes down to money and everything, it's going to, it's a little different story. So if someone comes in and drops in how many dollars and says, hey, I'll hunt that for this amount, you can't bash the farmer for turning down money. He's hurting. All farmers.
Well, yeah, especially this year, dude. People are not. They put the deposit down. I was talking to a farmer. I was talking to a farmer today, dude. He's talking about other farmers he's talked to. They're not paying the rest of their seed bill. They're going to just let their deposit go for their corn seed because they can't get it in the ground. So they've already paid their deposit for their seed, but they're not even going to pay for the rest of it because they can't get it in the ground this year, with the way we've had weather. We got another blast of rain right before you showed up today, dude. It freaking probably poured another 2 inches today.
It missed my house.
Did it? Dude,
I
couldn't see the freaking...
You know where my parents' house is?
Yeah.
My mom says half of the house is wet and the other half isn't.
Yeah.
Like, she was, right on the line.
Nate, we couldn't see the chicken coop, dude.
Yeah. But...
from my back porch, and it's not far.
Well, yeah, it's been a pretty wet year for farmers, It's like anything. Everyone struggled, but honestly, I mean...
Costs are going up everywhere.
The hunter guys, their take on hunting becoming a rich man's sport, I don't really think they're far off, especially in New York with this public land possibly being sold.
Well, that's nationwide. That's not just New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's nationwide. So, and they haven't released a list or talked about any of it. I think they're just trying to pass through the ability to sell it at this point. Again, I haven't read a ton into it. I've been busy with Hannah being out of town, selling ground, which again goes back into the rich man sport side of it too, dude. Is people want to buy a piece too because they don't want to deal with maybe the crowding on state land. They want a piece they can manage their own a little bit. I wouldn't necessarily call it a rich man's thing, but I think that's part of it. In full transparency, I would say less than 10% of what we hunt is public. The only public we do is fishing, public water.
That's I mean, yeah.
We don't really hunt public. No. Once in a while, maybe.
Well, you and me, are fairly local guys, I guess. True. And our families have a history with other families. Mm. And honestly, a lot of my pieces that I can hunt is because of the relationship that my grandfather built.
Sure. With
these people way back when he was my age. Well, all the way up, and he's maintained that relationship.
And same thing, only different. I don't know if we would have, and again, this is just how the whole thing rolls. If we didn't end up losing out on some of our long-term leases that we had or permission ground in the past, I don't know if my dad. I know he always had the dream of wanting to own ground. But I don't know. But I don't know if it would have. It would have pushed that next step. You know what I mean? If we would have had a nice lease still,
I mean,
or a nice permission piece, I can't hunt. I might actually get to list a piece, dude, where I killed my first freaking turkey. I mean, it's what the heck, dude?
I mean, that's your dad would be, was a good example for you. How many permission pieces did he have way back when he was our age?
Dozens.
That he can't hunt anymore.
Nate, I used to be able to go from one end of Lockberlin to the next, trapping growing up.
And this is going back and talking to my grandfather, my father-in-law, all of these guys that grew up through
used to be able to hunt this, 70s, used to be able to hunt that, used to be able to hunt 80s. This.
Oh, yeah. And now it's all just subdivided.
Yep. Small, well, or just
and
one big lease or whatever.
And it's hard to bash the person that sold it. You know, I mean, who's going to turn down the money if they got a fair offer for it and they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
Or if they're paying or if they're shelling out a couple $1,000 a year to lease it.
Who doesn't need the money? You know, and you know, God bless the people that are sitting there holding on to the land that they got. But it's just one of those things where it's just getting harder and harder.
Yeah. My mom commented in with a comment, said state land is owned by the citizens. The state doesn't have the right to sell it, question mark. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's a nationwide proposal, I believe. I need to read into it a little bit more. I guess I shouldn't speak too much about the details of it, but to my understanding, it's to get the permission to be able to sell. I don't know if it's federal ground or state-owned ground or how that's working, but selling land that's owned by government into private, doing private sales basically of public lands. So that's my understanding of it. So, and then Dan Festa says we need $50 million for specific reasons.
You love that comment.
Which I do.
You love that comment.
Well, I said the same thing, just in a more politically correct way.
Just in a nicer
Yeah.
Nicer wordage. Dan's a very blunt guy.
Yeah.
He's a straightforward guy. Straight shooter. That's why I love Dan.
Dan's straight
He
shooter.
tells you what he thinks.
Mm-hmm. So, summer projects, your update on the plot down there along the wood line is looking good.
It was. It's smoked.
What happened?
All the beans. There ain't a single bean growing.
Yeah. Woodchuck,
Well, the other
deer,
part, it was a small plot, and I think it would have worked, but it had. I was thinking about this.
Yet? Okay,
let me
sorry.
get into this. So there's 3 factors that I came up with because I went and I checked on it with Owen. After I made that post a week or 2, I forget how many weeks ago it was that I made that post of showing everybody the beans that were coming up, and they were like that tall.
Yep.
They were doing all right. I was like, it was a little spotty, but the way I planted it and the unconventional way of doing it, like
you didn't
just basically broadcasting it and just running a drag over it to try and cover it up and then packing it in with the wheels of the 4-wheeler. It worked, and honestly, Jesse did the same thing, and his plot looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Jesse's beans are like this tall, and it is just.
That's because
it's a carpet.
He killed all the deer.
It looks great. It looks great. Yeah, well, he is an efficient killer.
He is. Okay, so there's good hunters, and then there's killers. There's good shots, and then there's killers. But Jesse's in that killers category, dude.
But going back to that, my little food plot there, went back there a week ago or so. I don't remember, with Owen, and there's not a bean growing. Yeah. So I came back and I was like a little frustrated with it. I was like, it was going so good. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, all right, you're gonna get browsed by the deer. I don't feel like the deer are gonna take them right down to the dirt. They're gonna nibble off the tops. They're gonna do this, and they're gonna walk and feed.
The problem with those beans is when they're that little, even you take the top off of them, they're basically done.
So there's that. There's the wildlife. So deer, woodchucks, rabbits, everything I was saying in the video. The other thing is the amount of rain. It is on a little bit of a washout area there. There's that. And the other thing is that it's right on a wood line. So you have some overhanging trees.
You got roots underneath.
You got roots underneath. And the grass is like 4 to 5 feet tall. It's not getting a whole lot of sun anymore.
Down on that bottom, sure.
So that's where, trial and error. That is where brassicas would
shine a little bit better. The hay's already off. It's a little thinner than the thick.
That's where when you plant it in August, which now I said this in the video, like if it does happen where they get smoked, they don't make it or whatever, I'm going to try and replant them again in August after the hay's been cut a couple times,
green salad
once or twice, and try and do that. And I think I'm going to actually mix in some of the 100 proof mix with it just so I have a plan B for some of that, coming up to the season. If they do just get nuked again, or for whatever reason it's so wet that the farmer can't really get in there. There's no point in him cutting the hay because it's so wet.
Yeah. That makes sense with the hillside and stuff. I mean, I could see that being a precarious situation for him.
But on a positive note, Kitty Kill Pool is slamming.
Well, it's had a second year of use now.
It had a second year. The deer know it's there now. My trace buck, the three-legged wonder, is using it consistently. He's got to be bedding like right there.
Mm-hmm.
And with all this rain and it being on that runoff that I put it on, thing's full all the time. There's always water in it. Always water in that thing. Thing was full. Yeah. Actually, well, not quite full, but I took a picture of it.
And it's not in the full sun, so it's not getting a lot of evap.
No, it's getting no evap.
Yeah.
And I mean, the past week week or so, we've had some, sunny days, but it's in the timber, not in the woods, too. Yeah. It's in the timber.
Yeah. My mom comments in with a question mark, exclusion cage? Question mark? I don't think you didn't put an exclusion cage on the plot, did you? No. So that's a good point to, check out the browse value. I've shown that to clients on pieces where we've looked at their food plots and, they're like, it doesn't grow. And it's like, put a cage on it.
So I sent it to you.
Yeah. And then we can look at the growth inside and outside the cage and see what the damage is. Beans are a big one, across the big field. But even across like a hayfield and stuff like that, you don't see like that browse pressure, so to speak.
And then
Kitty Kill Pool. Sorry.
Kitty Kill Pool, and then I guess an update on the Boulevard extension I did. And
that's the Kitty Kill Pool. It's pretty nice. I like how you rimmed it with the rocks. You got your critter stick in there.
Well, those kiddie pools didn't really have don't really have like a rigid side like those big plastic pond, like garden pond things,
or
like,
even livestock troughs or whatever.
It's like a rigid plastic. If something steps on it, it's not going to crumble. So that's the reason I put the rocks around it, because if something did step on the edge of it, it's going to crush it.
It does look like that old well that I found this year shed hunting.
Yeah.
It's kind of got that old well in the woods look. It's pretty neat. I remember when we saw it when we went up in there and looked this past season at it. But pretty sweet.
But yeah, I mean, that's holding water, deer hitting it consistently. And then what I think also something that helped the Kitty Kill Pool out a lot was the extension of the boulevard, making those defined trails that those deer are going to want to use. It's leading them right to it.
It bottlenecks it right down into it, 100%.
So they're definitely walking past it. They've got to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
I agree. Yeah, and then for us, we got everything knocked down finally. For getting what we're going to get in, but we had stuff that still had standing water in it, or areas Dad had to mow around or avoid just because it was wet or standing water. Like, I don't even know if we dare put a drill through there if it's going to be... Jeez, sorry guys. Going to be too heavy and, sink the drill. And then we got a, 2-ton roadblock in the middle of the plot that we got to figure out how to get the drill out and the tractor out. So...
I still haven't made it over there to check out your guys's...
Well, you're not going to be able to see much of it now with the hogweed and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be all stacked in.
But we're running a little short on time now. I mean, was there anything last minute you wanted to throw in there?
It was just updates from the field or summer projects that we had going on. I have 4 stands I want to put up. One on the lease, which the lease is corn. We need to get out there and get some cams out. It is coming up. Usually 4th of July weekend is my weekend to put cameras out when I start gearing them up.
I just swapped the batteries out in all of mine. I never.
It's like I'm just rolling them, man. You're slacking. You pulled your shit out of the woods. You're slacking.
I just never took them down.
Nate's like, yeah, you pulling your stuff out of the woods, dude. You know, you're not a rich guy hunter. You're just a hobby hunter over here. I'm just playing. No, so we'll see. I mean, the one thing I did notice is you were asking me about recommendations for trail cams for a coworker of yours. Um, Gander Mountain has coverts on sale.
Yeah, he was just looking. I was like, well, my buddy usually has a bunch of used stuff that he's trying to sell. He's just looking
Or upgrading.
for like a $20-$30 camera he could pop up somewhere because he just wants it for I guess trespasser reasons. He just wants to plop it up somewhere and see if he can get a picture of somebody messing with what he thinks they're messing with. Is all.
Yeah.
He's not a hunter by any means.
Yeah.
He's a motorhead. He's a race guy.
Yeah, so, sorry, I just have a buyer that wants to submit an offer tonight. So I might have to write an offer right after this. Nice.
There you
go. Yep. So we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, it's, there's a lot of good options out there for cameras. I would say if you're looking for, like, identifiable, like, characteristics of, like, a face, you're going to have to spend a little bit more money for them. But there's some great options. Like I've always had good luck with those Gamekeeper or covert cameras. I think they're called the Census, either the 720s or the 1080s, depending on the quality. I think the 720s, I think you can get those for like $40 now, brand new. I think the 1080s are a little bit more. But if you bundle them up together, they usually do a free shipping on them. Or I think you can pick them up, like if you're up Henrietta way, you can pick them up right at the store. So. Those have been good. We did get a discount code. I don't know if you saw it in your little shooter thing for Browning trail cameras. I think it's 30% off the website. And if anybody's interested in that, let us know and we'll send you the code. So, I think that about covers everything we wanted to get on this week.
Yeah,
I know we're a little over that hour mark. That's usually what we shoot for, hour 10.
I think we're good.
So
all the comments are good.
Yep, we're caught up on
Cage, Dan, comment of the night.
Yep.
And yeah. Yep. Jake's Day tomorrow. Hopefully we can see some of you folks there. And good luck with all your projects. And
if you guys got questions or topics, feel free to reach out to us with them. If you did like the video, leave us a comment on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to it. Let us know what you think, even if you tell us we suck. But, that was the other thing. When we were down there at the NDA thing, we found out we have one listener in Pennsylvania. So we're up to like 4 or 5 viewers now. So thank you, all 4 or 5 of you, counting our parents. We have one guy listening from Pennsylvania as well with it. So thank you, everybody. Find a Way. Is that what his call company is?
Yeah,
out of PA.
He was doing his own.
I forget the kid's name, but
pretty nice calls.
Yep, I got wing bone yelper from him.
Yeah, I think his wing bone yelpers were probably top notch.
Those wing bone yelpers are pretty nice.
Yeah, there was some cool stuff down there.
Yep.
But it was cool. We're down there talking to him for probably 15 minutes, and then I don't know, somehow got on the subject of the 100 proof or whatever.
Well, you saw Bill Harvey was with us, and he had the Pert Near hat on, and he said, well, you listen to Pert Near, you know those guys, and Bill's like, yeah, I'm kind of doing it since, Billy stepped down from doing a lot of it. And then he's like, yeah, you should listen to Ben's podcast too. And he's like, kind of cocks his head, and he's like, what podcast is that? I'm like, 100 proof. And he's like, I was listening to one of your episodes the other day. And I was like, Nate, we got one more. We're up to 5. So
we're branching off into different states now, which is cool.
Just over the border, but still. It's a different state, man. And we get Derek from Idaho. We might have 3 states and 5 viewers now. Take what we can get. So thank you guys all for the support, getting us to episode 66. If you or your business or whatever, or if you're just interested in supporting us, let us know, because this is a definite net loss for us. We do have shirts, knives. Those proceeds we use for paying for the podcast upload software and everything.
We got hats.
Streaming software. We got our hats. I got one. We got stickers. We got a whole bunch of stuff.
Which I've been giving a ton of them away.
Yeah. Well, they sent us like 200 extra, so I'm all for that.
Yeah.
So thank you, Sticky Brand.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're interested in sponsoring the show or setting anything up like that, I'd be happy to shout you out on the show. We didn't do a featured property for Whitetail Properties today. I mean, that's my own personal promotion, but other than that, if you're like outdoor sports, anything like that, got an outdoor space or just want to reach more folks on this platform, be happy
Fishing with Newman.
Oh, you forgot about Fishing with Newman. I knew we forgot something. You want to hit that next episode or hit that quick?
We'll hit it quick.
Hit it real quick. So we went out, fished Honey Oi with Newman.
Jeremy Newman.
2 weeks ago now?
He was previously on WBEE. I think
Now he's with iHeart.
He does his own thing on iHeart now.
He has the
cool
show
guy.
with Lonsberry now too.
Had a blast. I think he was a little bummed we didn't catch more bass.
You were ripping him on that spinner. You were ripping pickerel like left and right.
Yeah, and yeah, he was always like, we gotta find these, where are we going, ditch pickles or whatever he was calling
the bass. That's what he was calling the largemouth was ditch pickles.
the bass, and I was like, yeah, I said I'll sit out here and catch 18-inch pickerels all day long. I don't really care.
Nate's like, I'll keep ripping this spinner over the top of these weed beds, dude, and just freaking pull them out.
But that was fun. It was cool. I mean, it was
To
something
fish a different body of water.
I've fished Honey Oi before, but you know, it was cool to meet Newman. I listened to him for pretty much my whole life.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to meet him. He was a pretty down to earth guy. I think he does charters and stuff. Give him a little shout out. He's very reasonable with
his rate, sure.
His rate, and
He'll put you on fish and have good laughs and a good time, dude.
Yeah, he just seems, it seemed like just going out fishing with a buddy, a little bit of busting balls and have a little fun on the boat, and we're out there just
crack some jokes
fish.
And have a good time and fly around with a 60-mile-per-hour bass boat and you don't have to bring any of your own fishing gear if you don't want to. He's probably going to put something really expensive in your hand, and you're going to feel like you're going to feel like you shouldn't be touching it.
He's going to force you to use his stuff. All right, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to touch your $1,000 combo you got right here. He's like, actually, it's more like $1,400, and it's like, I definitely don't want to touch it. Yeah. And then you pick it up, and you're like, this weighs nothing.
Wow, this is nice.
I was like, wow, this is what a really nice pole feels like. My $100 pole feels insignificant right now. But no, it was a good time. I don't know. We probably caught 20 something fish between the three of us.
It was probably 50-50, pickerel and bass. You and Jeremy caught more bass. I seem to be cranking on the pickerel.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you were hitting them on the spinner. We were mostly running chatterbaits. I didn't actually. Well, no, you ran a creature for a little bit. You caught one on a creature, I think. I caught the first fish, and that's the curse of the night. That you're not going to end up with a good one or the most fish of the day when you catch the first one.
Yeah, unless you're Jesse Festa.
Unless you're Jesse, and then you just catch biggest first, the biggest bag, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I caught the first one, and it was probably like a 14-incher or something. Yeah. And we were running chatterbaits over the top of the weeds.
It was a good time. It was. Yeah. I mean, Honey Oi Lake's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a pretty lake. It's a short lake, dude, mountain, so you can go to the
mountains and everything around. I mean, it's cool to be out there.
So if anybody's interested in taking a fishing trip with Newman, let us know. We'll be able to we could put you in contact with him. But yeah, he's doing mostly Honey Oi. I think he does Cayuga and maybe Cuca. He said he goes to once in a while too.
Yeah.
But mostly Honey Oi and Canisius a little bit, I think. But yeah, so if anybody's interested, just let us know. We'll put you guys in contact. We'll probably go out with them again another time or two, maybe before the summer. We just ran out there after work quick, and just fished the last couple hours. So it was a good time. Good time. So, alrighty. Well, I think that definitely sums it up. So, thank you all for tuning in. If you like this, let us know. Hit the subscribe button or the follow button wherever you're watching. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. I think we're on iHeartRadio even too. So, let us know what you liked or didn't. And yeah, we're just a couple guys hanging out. We'll have some folks on here probably in the coming up weeks before season. Might have Newman on. We talked about that, talking some fishing. Probably have Jesse come on, talk some fishing and some other stuff. He's always a crowd favorite.
I think Jesse's itching a little bit to get out here.
Yeah, I like that. Sounds like a good plan, dude. So, all right, thank you, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll catch y'all next time here on the show.
See ya.
See ya. And we froze. Dun, 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 dun. Don't mind me. We're just a frozen screen right now. This is dead air time. This is great. There we go. Sorry, guys. See ya.